course. I'm Diane Johnson with the League of Women Voters. But the important thing tonight is that we have a very brave, maybe crazy, but certainly brave lady with us tonight to fill us in on why she's doing the job she's doing and what she's done to make it work better and so on. But really, we are just so glad to have Candace and Brandon with us. Candace is our Pueblo County Clerk and Recorder. Did I say that all right?
Yes.
Brandon is her Chief of Staff. And she was elected in 2020. That's when she got sort of crazy. She was elected in 2020, and she manages, this is the thing that just blew my mind, she manages the largest administrative office in the county with 60 staff members working for her. That's a lot of folks to keep track of. Mm-hmm. Yes. And she has invited us all for a tour when we can do this. Tell us a little, when you, in your talk, tell us a little about the tour possibilities.
I sure will.
Okay. Well, without further ado, here is Candace Rivera, and thank you so much for coming.
I'll make sure we have a microphone. Is that good?
That's great.
Test. Test. Okay. A little louder. I think we have volume right here too. Test.
It's hiding.
It's hiding. Make sure to move around. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, good deal. I want to make sure everyone can hear me okay. All right, so thank you, League of Women Voters, for having me here today. I'm especially excited to share with you the great things that I've been working on in the Clerk and Recorder's office. But first I want to say it is my sincere honor to serve as the Pueblo County Clerk and Recorder. As the leader of a public office that encompasses 4 very distinct departments and nearly 60 staff members, I hold this responsibility with the utmost care and regard. Upon being elected and accepting this extraordinary responsibility, I committed to work hard every day for you, the citizens of Pueblo County, to be a just servant leader, to abide by law, and to pursue excellence in all of my actions and decisions. I have upheld this principle by working incredibly hard with diligent focus. Despite the many challenges I face on a daily basis, this role will always be about the people for me. Not only the citizens of Pueblo County, but especially my hardworking staff. Together we have achieved some amazing things in a short period of time that I'd like to share with you today. I would like to share the Clerk and Recorder mission statement with you, as it is a reflection of the accomplishments that I will be sharing. The Clerk and Recorder's office is committed to serving Pueblo County citizens through transparency, accountability, leadership, a proactive customer service approach, increased efficiencies, and improved processes. That's it. There it is. Okay. So here's what your county clerk has been up to. I think we're at number 5. One more. In 2023, I hit the ground running by identifying several inefficiencies and processes that needed improvement. As a result, I implemented QLIS, a line management software that significantly improves the customer service experience in the motor vehicle department. Customers can now join the line from their home, office, or parked car by simply scanning a QR code or clicking a link similar to call-ahead seating at your favorite local restaurant. The software notifies the recipient when their appointment time is within 10 minutes, allowing them to run an errand instead of inconveniently waiting in line for service. Additional conveniences include opening the motor vehicle office to the public 5 days a week. When I first started, it was only open 4 days a week to the public. So on Monday, only dealers could come in, and during the rest of the week, the dealers couldn't complete any transactions, and neither could the public come in on Mondays. So we worked that out. We're open 5 days a week. We have new hours. We're open from 7 a.m. Until 5:30 p.m. And we're open on Saturday at our drive-through location. Additional conveniences include the ability to process your renewal in person, and the opening of a new dealer hub on the ground floor of the historic courthouse to better serve our dealer and fleet partners. These enhancements in motor vehicle have resulted in increased convenience, efficiency, and revenue generation to Pueblo County. Improvements continued when I relocated the election office, doubling square footage, doubling tabulators, and doubling signature verification stations. The new space can accommodate nearly 250 election judges, which significantly improves processing times for all election-related tasks. Processes such as signature verification, which previously took 8 hours to complete, now only takes an hour and a half. As a result, election results in all elections since 2023 were counted and reported in record speed, a first in Pueblo County. These changes alone will positively impact elections in Pueblo County for years and decades to come, certainly beyond my time as the clerk. The election department move also saved the clerk and recorder's office and Pueblo County taxpayers significant sums of money. A $90,000 annual rent payment has been eliminated because we moved to a county-owned building. And no cost was incurred for furniture, and all items were donated. I got those donated from a place in Colorado Springs to furnish the election office. So we went from 6,000 square feet to 12,000 square feet with free furniture and no rent. And we get elections done on election night. The election department, also, through this election department, I secured grant funds to invest in new equipment, in security cameras. 24-hour ballot drop box locations were added in Bessemer and Beulah in 2023. Additionally, yay Beulah! Yay. Additionally, cameras with solar panels were added to all drop boxes to enhance security. Lastly, the election website was completely revamped, providing easier navigation and prepared the way for ADA compliance, which is a new law effective July 1st. In 2023, I also made time to impact the community directly in several ways. I participated in holiday meal deliveries to those in need, organized drives to collect food, blankets, gloves, winter items, and hygiene supplies. I volunteered time at the soup kitchen and volunteered along with my staff at a cleanup of Runyon Lake. Serving others will always be close to my heart, and I will continue to find ways to give back to my community. So all of this was accomplished in my first year in office. So now we'll go to 2024. The hard work continued, and I raised the bar even higher. I was thrilled to expand motor vehicle services to the Bessemer neighborhood by opening an express motor vehicle drive-through. For the first time ever, citizens can process renewals and obtain handicap placards in the express drive-through without leaving their car. This is the first in the state of Colorado and perhaps the first in the country for a motor vehicle office. This took months of planning, preparation, and training, but it was a complete success in the first year. I would also like to point out that no rent is due for this location, as it is also owned by the county, further maintaining a trend of responsible stewardship of public funds. Now I have a little video for you to watch. But I can't throw a football. Along with added convenience, it is my priority to deliver a quality customer service experience. I aim to delight customers by showing them that it is indeed possible to receive great service from a public office. To give you some perspective on just how many customers we serve, there are months in 2024 where we serve nearly 700 citizens a day just in the motor vehicle office. 700 a day. To track feedback from the public, I implemented customer service surveys in each department. In 2024, we received more than 250 surveys with strong results. 89.9% gave the staff a 5-star rating on overall experience. 95.8% said the staff was courteous. 94% said the staff was knowledgeable. And 82% affirmed they were able to complete their business in one trip. In 2024, I also undertook several initiatives in the recording department. The recording system was significantly upgraded from an out-of-date Oracle system to a new cloud-based software to protect and preserve the public records for future generations. This means that all physical records have been digitally scanned and the data is now securely preserved, protected, and backed up. To expand services in recording, 4 research stations for public access were installed. Customers can now conduct research and gain access to digital records, including marriage licenses, deeds, and plat maps in the recording department. E-recording was also implemented, which gives citizens the option to record a document from the comfort of their home. It doesn't get more convenient than that. Some additional exciting upgrades include the ability to accept credit card payments in person and online for the first time ever in Pueblo County. A new fraud notify feature that allows citizens to sign up for alerts that notify you when property information is changed. We partnered with the district attorney's office to follow up on fraudulent liens, and we rearranged workstations significantly in the recording department to improve customer flow. With a national focus on elections in 2024, safety, security, integrity, and reliability were my focus on all processes. I purchased and installed a weapons detection system in the Government Services Center. This system, along with many other office security features, such as digital key card access to every door and panic buttons in all offices, were all paid for by $559,299 I received in grant funding. 7 staff members became certified Colorado election officials, bringing the office total up to 17. 8 election officials also received training from the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, the FBI, and Homeland Security. We partnered with the Pueblo Police Department and the Pueblo County Sheriff's Office to monitor election cameras in real-time crime center and activate the Emergency Services Center during election time. An additional 24-hour Dropbox location at Barkman Library was added in 2024, and our office hosted over 300 constituents for tours of the election office, providing education and improving transparency to the public. So on May 6th is our next election, and I encourage and invite all of you to come over. If you can tour even during election, on election day, you'll get to see the machines running and see what we actually do. So I encourage everyone to come take a tour. We have nothing to hide. I want to showcase our office and my very good staff. So I invite you to please come take a tour. Lastly, 542 election judges were hired and trained to work elections in 2024 with all of the elections we had. So we have some recurring judges, but nonetheless, 542 were hired during 2024. So your clerk has been busy. As I stated previously, so much of this role is about the hardworking staff. It is important to me that the staff of the clerk's office is continually learning through training and development. Increased knowledge and skill not only contribute to greater efficiency in the office, but they also equate to increased career advancement opportunities and development for the staff that work in the county. In 2024, I provided opportunities for professional development to the team by offering leadership training for the first time ever in the clerk's office. When I first took office, that was one of my biggest asks. They just wanted training. Of course, no. More money was number one. But next, they wanted more training. So we addressed that issue. And so they got some training for the first time ever in the clerk's office. 39 staff were sent to conference. 359 NeoGov modules were completed by the staff. Our NeoGov modules it doesn't cost taxpayers money. It's something available to county workers, and we've implemented trainings into NeoGov to utilize, to make it free, so it doesn't cost us money. But so 359 NeoGov modules were completed by my 60 staff members. 5 staff became certified in AED and first aid, and 3 became certified in mental health first aid. Additionally, 21 job descriptions were rewritten, creating 16 new positions which added advancement levels in the departments. This resulted in 18 promotions in the clerk's office by the end of 2024. In August of 2024, I was appointed by the Colorado State Legislature to serve on the Electronic Recording Technology Board, ERTB is what we call it. This board assists counties in Colorado to modernize their recording technology and digitize their records. I also made additional contributions to the community directly by encouraging the clerk and recorder staff to volunteer at a nonprofit of their choice. I again held multiple food, blanket, and essential product drives, continued to volunteer at the Pueblo Community Soup Kitchen, and delivered holiday meals to families in need in 2024 as well. Let's talk about 2025. I would love to share with you my plans for the future. It is my goal to continue to deliver greater convenience, accessibility, transparency, and accountability with added services to our community. In motor vehicle, I'm happy to announce the opening of another renewable kiosk to serve the north side of Pueblo inside Albertsons on Highway 50. So we have 3 now. There's one at the south side of King Soopers, one in Safeway in Pueblo West, and now one at the Albertsons on Highway 50. In the summer of 2025, I plan to open a full-service motor vehicle office in Pueblo West as well. This area of the county continues to grow, as do the need for services. This location will reduce traffic in the historic courthouse by offering all motor vehicle services, including renewals, dealer services, disabled placards, and VIN inspections, all in Pueblo West. We are confident that this new location will be busy, as our renewal kiosk inside the Pueblo West Safeway processed over 5,900 transactions in 2024. In election, we will be conducting the May election, as I said, the special districts coordinated election, and then in November we will have the 2025 coordinated election. Pueblo County IT participated this week in their process to become election certified as well, to prevent cybersecurity threats. So my staff is is election certified, the number that I said earlier, and now it's bleeding over to IT, because now they all attended the conference we just left this weekend, so they will also be election certified. So your election will be in the hands of many certified people that treat it sacred, as they should. This year, we're also planning a voter education campaign, partnering with the school districts to help educate all ages on the voting process that we talked about earlier. I'm also happy to announce that the recording office is working with the newly formed Homeless Advisory Commission on a document certification program that we've named the Kaylee Morgan Project. This project will allow, when ready, a service provider working with unhoused individuals to store documents needed to receive services in our recording system. So we're gonna be able to hold the documents and store them at no cost to taxpayers. And then as those agencies need them, or we will be able to issue those directly to the agency. And because so many times, they're not served, because by the time they come up on the list for renewal for their housing, they've lost their documents. So this way, the documents will constantly be in the system. It's not gonna solve homelessness, but it's a piece that the clerk can play because of my previous work in helping victims and serving my community. I thought of this idea, so hopefully we will pilot the program and all 64 clerks will adopt it, and we can make a big difference in the state of Colorado as a whole.
Candace, could you just, what kind of documents?
It would be birth certificates, an ID, and a social security card. Anything that's needed to receive benefits, housing, food stamp, whatever, Medicaid, any benefits. If they go through this program, then we can release those documents. We can store them, we'll get them directly from the agency, we'll store them and then release them to the agency as they're needed. I won't collect the documents. I don't have the bandwidth or the staff to do that. The agencies will all get the documents. So this is something new, and we will do a formal announcement. So you're one of the first to hear about this, but go ahead.
I just wonder, will they be able to vote as well?
Yes, oh yes, we definitely make sure that they can vote, if at all possible, we help them do that as well. So, so that's something new that I created in my mind and I'm running with it, so, but more to come on that. The clerk to the board is committed to maintaining transparency, efficiency, and integrity in the daily operations of the clerk's office while managing administrative tasks and ensuring everything runs smoothly. This, let's see, we are going to be implementation and planning begins this month for the Civic Plus meeting minute software to improve our clerk to the board department. Through this software, or in addition to it, we are working with our IT department on a way to access all the documents from a meeting in a more convenient place. One place, you'll know what's happening at every Board of County Commissioner meeting. Hopefully all the attachments will be there and you just have to look in one place. That's our goal for 2025 or 2026, when the funding is available to replace the software. In February of 2025, I was appointed to serve as the legislative co-chair to the Colorado County Clerks Association. This incredible opportunity gives me the opportunity to be a voice for Pueblo County at the state level. I will have the ability to impact legislation on various issues that benefits Pueblo for years to come. So I know this is probably where you have some thoughts and questions and concerns. All of the hard work, digitization, modernization, and improvements across my office has come with significant costs. However, I'm very proud to announce that during my first 2 years in office, the Clerk and Recorder's Office has been awarded just under $2 million in grant funding. And this was accomplished without a grant writer. I wrote them, and then I taught my staff to write them, and now they can write them. So we brought in nearly $2 million in the first 2 years in office. So further saving taxpayer dollars. In conclusion, I would like to end with a quote Bob Proctor said, "Accountability is the glue that ties commitments to results." I have been and will continue to be an accountable, ethical steward to the citizens of Pueblo County. So thank you for your time today. It's my goal to be a positive reflection of Pueblo County as a whole, so that when our citizens have a positive experience in the clerk's office, it will reflect positively upon Pueblo County government. Thank you for your time. So now it's your turn. I'll take your questions.
Who do you work under? The Secretary of State, Colorado?
I do, we follow, Title I is Secretary of State. We do file Title I, but I'm an elected official just
Right.
I'm a county elected official.
But if you have any concerns, he would be the person
The
you would go to?
The Secretary of State, yes. And there are many attorneys
Mhm.
that we communicate with daily. We have a great relationship with the Secretary's office.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, what about, do you administer the city's elections also?
I will be, this one I will be conducting the city election with this question for Black Hills.
Mm-hmm.
However, their last election, the mayoral runoff election, they conducted their own because of the timing. I can't have two elections open in my software in my office. So because of the timing of that election, they had to hire someone to do those.
Okay.
So it depends on the year and odd numbers, even years if there's a runoff. So I will accommodate as many elections as we possibly can. We're set up to do that. But there were some that I just couldn't do.
So what are your goals at the state?
At the state?
Well,
I really have enjoyed this session, being the legislative co-chair for the Colorado County Clerks Association. I've been at the Capitol. I'm tired. We have a few days to go and many bills to go. I had 38 bills that affected my office alone, my 4 departments alone. We've won some, we've lost some, but we are continuing the fight for what we can do. So
mostly about grants and funding, or are there other issues that you covered in those bills?
Many other issues, motor vehicle laws, recording laws, vacancy elections, many election themes were in those 38 bills. So most of them, I think, it's not gonna change too much the process that we have now. The big one that we don't know about is 25-13-19, which is the commissioner vacancy bill, which is what we've been working on today. And but we don't know yet. It's not signed off on, and we'll see how session ends.
Ma'am, if I may add to that, the real incredible thing about Clerk Rivera having a voice as a legislative co-chair is that she can go to the state and be an advocate for Pueblo County, really looking at ways to save taxpayer dollars in a huge way. So, and if she wasn't part of that, some of these bills would just pass without any input that really matters regarding the people of Pueblo County. So she's really been able to make a big impact already in this first legislation. So it's been incredible.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Candace, I would just like to provide my thanks and appreciation for you having this upbeat, positive, can-do attitude, looking outside of the box, thinking of the community as a whole. I mean, I think you're just what we needed, and I know every day isn't a great day, but please know it's appreciated.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Can you speak just a little bit to what the future might hold? Like you and I were talking earlier about either the president's executive order or the SAVE Act that the House has passed, and now maybe the Senate will do something. But just what that would look like, a little bit what it would look like on the ground for someone in your position.
So for everyone to have to prove citizenship in person alone, I don't have the bandwidth to do it. I don't have the staff to, if that's all we did, and what I was explaining earlier is these elections, the community thinks it's election day, it's one day, it's over, we're done. It takes a month after election day to close out an election to get to canvass. Canvass is the official closing counting, and it's documented, and then it's finally over. That happens approximately 30 days after an election, but it's months and months and months of preparation. So when we're in one election, we are already planning. I'm in this election now, but we're already planning our IGAs for November. So we don't have bandwidth to have large amount of people come into our office and be able to take care of them.
Because the
Yeah.
requirement would be for them to have to bring documentation of citizenship,
Mhm.
which may take multiple documents and
And you checking them.
Correct, and storing them, and that's another, like, we just moved to a bigger place, right? But a lot of these laws and rules and regulations, some of them, we don't have even the space to do it, so, that's something to consider too. We just don't have the bandwidth all the way around.
Can they be digitally stored like you were describing for the homeless?
Perhaps, it would all be, if that's allowed in CRS, because it is
Oh.
election records. So legislators would have to decide that and determine how we store them and the laws that are behind all of that, and then we just follow the laws, of course, but there's so much to consider when you think about that, especially with these types of documents and PII on them. Go.
If we're already registered to vote, we don't have to do anything else, do we?
not now.
Well, not yet, we don't know yet, but so there's the SAVE Act and then the President's executive order. They kind of coincide with each other, they reflect, each other, but in the President's, the order, it's not, in the state of Colorado, we're so far ahead of other states in how we conduct elections. Most of the things that he's seeking apply to other states because we already do them in Colorado. Go.
Do you think our voting by mail will ever be changed?
No,
I-
I don't.
Good, I'm glad to
I
hear
don't,
that.
but that's my
It's
opinion.
one of the best things I think since
Yeah.
sliced bread.
But I don't know what will happen with legislation on the federal level and the state level. So we'll have to wait and see what the changes that actually happen and the things we have to actually abide by. And so all of that is on its way. We'll learn a little more after session is over.
We have strong backbones, we can handle it.
Yeah. We have 19 days to go. Go ahead.
Candace, what does one have to do actually to be eligible for having documents stored? Do you have to be homeless for this to happen, or are there other, I'm thinking of kids aging out of foster care and that kind of thing. And you know, they're not gonna hang on to their stuff, they can't, especially if they're moving from friend to friend to friend, you know, when they're couch surfing and that kind of
Yes.
thing. So would they be eligible for?
Eventually, so we're just piloting this it's still with legal working out, there's like a waiver they'd have to sign to give the agency permission to send us the documents and those types of things. So all of the legal things are being determined right now, that's why I haven't done a formal announcement yet. But it would apply only to homeless initially. My goal, because of the work I've done previously in my career as a victim advocate for Pueblo County for many years, I worked at the DA's office and then I went to private practice and in family law. But there's situations that happen in a lot of people's lives and they have to leave without proper documents in their possession. Domestic violence is a classic example. So I hope to eventually open it up to victims of crime as well and children. These families that we will start housing their documents, I will try to get birth certificates for the children because that's an issue when they register them for school. They don't have proper documents, it pushes them back. So if we get families as a whole, then as they need those documents, that it will simply just be there and they don't have to wait. It takes 3 to 6 months to get the documents. So that's why by the time they get them, sometimes they can't find the people they belong to. And so it would maybe just centralize and we'll have to see how it goes, but that's my goal, to try to make a difference by just simply having the documents they need.
Yeah, that's a really big issue for a lot of folks out there. Well, thanks for doing that.
A lot of people say, well, go get a job, go get a house, and
Yeah, it's
well,
not
if you
that
don't, if you don't have a life, or even just a state ID, a birth certificate and a social security card, doing those two things are nearly impossible. So this will just eliminate one step and hopefully be able to make a difference, because so many of them will get on the housing list, get in a home, but then in a year, they have to be recertified, then they don't have the documents again, so they get evicted. So this will not only help them get into the homes and get jobs, but stay there as well.
So
Hopefully.
you might get, through another agency, you might receive somebody's Indiana birth certificate that you would put into your system. But when you go to release it to the person, when they need it at a different time, you'd be able to certify that because it was
Correct.
a certified document when you received it, or?
And/or, cause we have to work out some of those details still, but, yes, or from it's a government agency to a government agency, so maybe there wouldn't be the certification requirement.
Gotcha.
So I'm working with Pueblo Housing Authority and the Soup Kitchen, and so far that's the agreement we've come to, that if it comes from a government agency, the county clerk, it shouldn't need to be certified, therefore it costs nothing. This whole program will cost nothing, because I've already got the grant money to get the software. So we have the mechanism to store it, but we won't record it or file it or anything like that. We'd simply store it. But being that it's government agency to government agency would hopefully eliminate asking for originals or certified copies. But we can do certified copies if we need to.
Very good, wonderful. It's your experience of having worked, done the community service work that you've done, that you saw where the barriers were.
Correct.
That needed to be resolved. That's excellent.
Yes,
Thank
it's
you.
a big need, and just because of the work I've done to our community for them, that's how I put the pieces of the puzzle together and created this idea. And I named it the Kaylee Morgan Project, because that is a family that currently is going through difficulties with homelessness because of lack of documents. So, and it's been happening for many years. So it's a family that I've helped in my career, and they've really become dear to me. So we named it after her.
You put a face to it.
Yes.
Very nice.
Thank you. Cool.
Yeah, I had asked you earlier about our upcoming election, was it May 6th? And whether that date was picked by city council or required by certain election calendar issues and so on. Could you just explain that to the group?
Sure. So there are 2 elections scheduled for this year, for 2025. So there was the May election with special districts, or a November election. So the city opted to put it on the May election.
And that's the Secretary of State election calendar.
Yeah.
Or-
The Secretary of State doesn't do special districts.
Oh, okay, so that would be our election calendar in Pueblo County?
It's the DOLA. It's through DOLA.
Okay.
The
Department of Local Affairs.
Department of Local Affairs sets that calendar for special districts.
Okay.
Secretary sets other elections, and then, and so we worked with them with the special districts, our election director, and decided on the May 6th date, cause that's, must be determined in their laws. I'm typically Title I. All of the elections we do through our office, through Secretary of State, are under Title I. So with special districts, they operate under multiple different titles, So, so we're operating that election, but it's, we're gonna operate it through Title I, abiding by both sets of laws. So special districts this May 6th election is a little different from other elections. There's many different types of elections. So, go ahead.
You seem to be quite a problem solver. You see something that needs to be done and you try to change it and make it better. So right now, I know you have a lot on your plate, you've implemented new stuff. What are the biggest challenges you see in 2025, 2026?
Our biggest challenge in 2026 will be no money. Our budget, the state budget at 1.4 billion cuts for 2025 will have a significant impact on our county in 2026. Our budgets as elected officials, it's very concerning to me. We need a certain amount of money just to operate, and we don't have, I won't be able to, I got $2 million of grant money nearly in my first 2 years of office, but those have already, the funding has already been cut for those. So, I don't know what we're gonna do for money, but we'll figure it out. If I have to have a bake sale, that's what I'll do. We will operate elections no matter what. Okay.
Were the funding sources from those grants other government sources, or were they private foundations? Or?
No, they were federal and state grants that I received, so,
So that's why the funding has
right.
been canceled or whatever.
Yes.
So bake sale it is, right?
Bake sale it is. We'll become creative, but that's our biggest concern and gonna be our hardest problem as a county. I'm worried for our county and for our state in 2026. Go ahead.
On a personal level, I know you do probably a lot of things you don't think in your job. I've been a part of the women's suffrage group, and I know we have been in contact with you about the Carrie Clyde Hawley portrait that we're hoping to have placed in a prominent place.
Yes.
As we look at women who have made a big impact, and to think first female legislator in the state was from Pueblo. So there's a lot of pride in this community.
There is, and thank you for honoring her, and they did pass that resolution. It will be at the Government Services Center, her picture, when it's being remodeled now, but they did pass that,
Main
resolution.
floor? Or?
Yes, the main floor.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course, you're very welcome. It was my honor to help with that. Go
This
ahead.
is something you may not know the answer to, but when are they gonna fill up the rest of that big building you guys are in?
On the seventh, we're on the second floor of
Right.
the GSC. They're looking for people to lease. They're currently trying to fill it up. We're not the only people in that building. There's people, I think, on every floor right now.
Okay.
So it's getting filled.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I know my question is, have we, in Pueblo County, are we helping people who are incarcerated to vote?
Yes.
I couldn't reach.
She has.
In Pueblo County, are we helping people who are incarcerated to vote? We are. So, in the last session, they implemented a new law where we actually take, the mobile ballot printers into the jail for 6 hours. It doesn't have to be on election day. The law says, the week of election, I believe, for 6 hours. So we implemented that. It did pass in session, and so November was the first time we've done it. Our previous process was to deliver the ballots by 2 judges, a bipartisan set of judges. 2 judges and a staff member would take a sealed box with the inmates' ballots. They would unseal them, give them to the inmates, they would vote them, seal them back, and take them back to my office to be tabulated. So now we take the election to them. So we had, I think, 14 people vote in the jail in November, in Pueblo County Jail.
So if you go to vote like at Pueblo West in person, you have to show ID to be able to vote, correct?
Yes.
But at the jail, they don't have their ID, do
All
they?
mail-in ballots, you don't show ID for mail-in ballots.
Oh, and that's what it's considered at the jail?
Yes,
Oh, interesting, okay,
yes.
thank you.
Yeah, so they just take the mail-in ballots in there with and be able to print them right in front of them.
Okay. And do they appreciate it?
I think so, but you know what I was really pleased about is the deputies were very happy because there were 14 inmates, but a lot of the deputies got to vote as well in there. So they're like, I'll just get it done now. So it was a good thing for deputies as well. So it was worth it. And we were pleased, very pleased with the turnout
Very nice.
in 6 hours.
I think you'll find that, of course, the League of Women Voters is gonna have, most of us believe that our elections are very safe and secure and always have been and always will be. But I know you've got an education component there. As a clerk and as part of, you know, a fellowship of clerks throughout the country, is there a general, I mean, what is this, education gonna be the answer to helping people overcoming these fears, or what's the general consensus?
the general consensus is we're gonna do our best to show them they have nothing to fear. Our elections are safe and secure. So in Colorado, we have 64 counties, so I regularly meet with all 64 county clerks. We meet regularly, multiple times a week. We talk on the phone a lot. If there's election security issues, we all get in on an emergency Zoom meeting. You know, we're a very tight-knit group of people, so that's very good. And I don't know what party affiliation my fellow clerks are, because it doesn't matter to us what party affiliation. I don't know, I couldn't tell you when we're in a group, I couldn't tell you who is what, because it doesn't matter. Our goal is to operate legal, fair elections in the spirit of transparency, following the law. So that's what we're going to keep doing. We're gonna keep trying to educate our communities and keep doing better. That's what we said today. We just left a conference in Salida. So we just have to keep improving the process and making it better and showing people we're working hard to improve it.
If you go from county to county, does every county have the same election processing machines?
Yes. So for the machines themselves, like the tabulators on anything that touches a ballot, the federal government tells the Secretary of State's office what machines are approved for our state. So I can't just go pick election equipment from anywhere. I think some people think I can do that as the county clerk. I cannot. There are only 2 that are approved for the state of Colorado, and again, that comes from the federal government. They set the rules and they do the testing and they tell us what machines we can use. So that's for the state of Colorado. They do that for the nation, and each state, I don't know what all other states use, but I know in this state there's only clear ballot and Dominion. Those are only 2 options. Go ahead.
So what's the gist of the training, the community education? Has that already formulated your plans, and what will be the focus and intent?
So it has already started. We started it in January. So it goes for everything from, we read to preschoolers, Dr. Seuss, I vote, you vote, one vote, two vote, we were talking about that earlier. So we read a Dr. Seuss book to the littles, and then we have been to other programs, other clerks do this in other counties. And so we've been to 4th grade. We're gonna implement a mock election that we're gonna do into our school districts in Pueblo County, like a little mock election where they can actually vote ballots on their favorite ice cream or favorite Disney movie or whatever it's a little, and then they learn how to fill out a ballot, the proper way to fill it out, and also the whole election process. So we just give a little overview of how it all works.
So it's a grade school?
We've done preschool all the way to high school. So in high schools, it's more of a question and answer. We give a presentation similar to this, and then and talk about the voting process. We were able to even go to Goal Academy and speak there. So we're just educating about the process. If you go through the trouble of becoming a registered voter and getting your ballot, and then you turn it in, but you don't turn it in properly or sign properly, then your voice isn't heard. So really just educating the community about the election process in general. We're beginning at the bare minimum. That's where we're starting. We can add on it as we go.
So, and just one more question. So with the high schoolers, it would probably be in their social studies class?
No, they just call it's social studies and
Yes.
different,
Generally, anybody that's interested or available.
Yeah.
In the last high school that we went into, many of the students were available to attend. So anybody who could attend and who was present that day was there at the presentation.
Do you use volunteers in doing that training or at the school?
usually my staff, but as it grows, I'm very happy to have volunteers to read to the children or we can absorb them in our group. We went to schools, right? So the more staff I took with me, the more classrooms we could cover, and we read the same book. So we've tried to spread out, but we're so swamped at the office, it's sometimes hard to get away. So volunteers would be great when we expand to that.
I've been an election judge and I'll be working in April, later this month. And I just want to say that staff is so calm and everybody knows what they're doing and there's no, I just haven't worked with such a nice group of people in a long while, and they impress me. But the process, like I do deconstruction, so I get 50 envelopes and I count 50 envelopes, and then my partner, who's a different party than I am, counts the 50 envelopes, and then we take the ballots out and we count the 50 ballots, but not really looking at them, we're just counting ballots, and then I count the ballots, and then we band them together, but we've counted again. I mean, there is count, and I mean, it's just really interesting that the human element that's in it, and how smoothly it goes. Yeah, it's very nice. You run a really great office. And taking the tour, like during the November election, you had dignitaries as well as just public people coming through almost constantly, taking a tour while the election's going on. And that's the perfect time to see the process. I mean, it just, it is amazing that you can do that and get the work done.
It is a phenomenal process. It's just amazing to see it live. Of course, I'm the clerk, so I get excited about it. But I really would encourage you to come tour and see it live. It's very exciting. It's amazing what we can accomplish, and they all get along. It's nobody fights. It's amazing. They become friends. They go to dinner later and lunch, and so we also hire judges. If you know anyone who's interested in working, we'll always take judges. It's $16 and $18 an hour, and we work depending on what position you get. And some of them work just election day, some work for 3 weeks prior. We have office judges. There's judges. And when we say judges, that's a bipartisan team. There's always a Democrat and a Republican or an unaffiliated and one of the major parties. So everybody's mixed. There's not one team of the same party at any step of the process. Everything's under camera, lock and key, seals. I'm locked out of all of the offices. Usually Dan, when Dan gives this presentation with me, he'll tell everyone she's locked out. I don't get into the offices. So, and that's for a purpose. So our keys are all audited, so someone can know who went in that room, and if someone tried to get in there and couldn't get in there, we'll know. The computer keeps track of all of that just with our keys.
And I remember during the tour that in the construction, there were certain colors of wire that had to be run, and somebody brought in the wrong color and they had to replace it. But I mean, that's how, what we don't see in the ceiling is all taken care of too, and very,
We have specific, some people come in and want to look in the ceiling and trace the wires, so we allow them to do that if that's
So
what
you're
they
not
want.
connected to the internet?
Correct. Yeah, so they've come in and climbed in there and looked, so it's all right. It's all right. They can come and look if that's what it takes. Yep, whatever it takes.
You may not know the answer to this, but tell me where I would go. What percentage of Puebloans that are eligible to vote?
So in the November election, there were 91% of Republicans that turned out to vote, 78% of Democrats, and 62% unaffiliated. So we need people to show up to vote.
And those were, of course, registered voters.
Correct.
Okay.
And that's just Pueblo County. I don't know the numbers for the state.
So how do you know of the population of Pueblo, how many people are eligible to vote versus how many people are registered voters?
I don't know. We have 118,351 registered voters. So, and we have a population of approximately 170, but you know, you have underage and
Yeah.
that in there. So,
Thank you.
of course.
So this is great information. I learned some things tonight. Thank you.
Yeah.
How is that information communicated if somebody doesn't come to an opportunity like this?
Yeah, she's gonna post it online. I try to do this as much as I can. I'm very grateful to be here, to be able to speak about the hard work. A lot of people don't know what I do. They don't know what the county clerk does. So I'm responsible for all 4 departments and the things that come with it. So I'm happy to speak anytime. I do post videos on the Pueblo County Facebook page. I don't have a personal Facebook page or a clerk Facebook page, but the Pueblo County Facebook, you can find a lot of videos on there that we do. We try to keep the community updated if we're gonna do something new. We'll be posting videos for Pueblo West when we open Pueblo West. So that's a great way to keep tracked is on Facebook, Pueblo County Facebook, and then county.pueblo.org is our website that we've revamped, and there's lots of good information on there. Before every election, we update all of the amount of voters that are registered, and we distinguish them by party affiliation on there as well, on the website. And word of mouth, so you all can let everyone know. They don't have to wait in line at Motor V anymore. Just call it at CD.
I was downtown today in line, but it was a short line.
Oh, good. Anything else?
Yeah, the schools, take me back to that for a moment.
Sure.
Have you been contacting schools, you guys, or have the schools been contacting you? How does this work?
It's a little of both,
Okay.
right?
Yes, we did a video, the clerk was in a video that we posted on the county Facebook page, and then we had some outreach from that.
Okay.
But then the Read Across America, we did some outreach from that. And everywhere we go, we try to spread the word that if you know of a school or of a class or of some event that would benefit from the information, please reach out to us. Yeah.
Do you have a card or something with
Yes,
you?
ma'am.
How a tour, if somebody wants to be part of a tour, who do they contact?
The election office.
In the election office, they can do that, okay.
Yes. And no appointment necessary. You can even just walk in
Oh,
and
really?
say you'd like a tour, and Dan gives a great tour. Yes.
Yeah, it keeps you from your work.
I know.
Is it Dan that does the tours?
Yes.
Oh my
I
goodness.
gave a
fun.
few.
Oh,
I gave a
he's
few
so
tours
much
too,
fun,
but
yeah.
he's fun.
He is fun.
And he tells a joke of the day. Everyone loves him, so, yeah.
Some are good, some are not so good.
Right.
Does he like doing that?
He loves it.
I bet he does.
He loves it. Election grows on you, and then it just becomes exciting.
Well, how did you pick this area of government to walk into?
The need in the community.
Okay,
That was why I ran for clerk.
okay.
I did not work in the clerk's office before I was elected, so I'm learning brand new. So sometimes fresh eyes are necessary, you know, get a new perspective and new ideas.
Excellent, yeah.
Well, it certainly sounds like you brought some new ideas.
Thank you. Thank you all for having me. I really appreciate being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It worked.
Really well, very well.
We so much appreciate your doing this. This has been
Brandon was there.
stellar.